Welcome to Woodstock, Vermont, USA, known as one of the most charming towns in Vermont. Now this video provides 10 reasons why people love Woodstock. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Woodstock, Vermont, USA. Population around 3,000. Now just for context, we have a map here. We have circled Woodstock. Woodstock is 1 hour and 30 minutes from Burlington, Vermont and 30 minutes from Killington. Now this video provides 10 reasons why people love Woodstock. People love Woodstock because of the Billings Farm and Museum and the Sunflower House. The farm where environmental agriculture pioneer Frederick Billings raised his Jersey cattle is still a working farm, open to visitors as Billings Farm and Museum. Along with the barns, sheds, and shops of an active farm are exhibit areas that illustrate early farming and rural life in Vermont. You can tour the home of the farm's manager and the creamery downstairs with all the equipment used to make butter and cheese. Butter making is often demonstrated here. Throughout the year, special events highlight seasonal activities on the farm with hands-on experiences designed for children. The most recent attraction at the Billings Farm and Museum is the 20,000 square foot Sunflower House, where thousands of sunflowers are planted in a maze-like pattern of rooms and corridors. The rooms are planted in 100 different varieties of sunflowers, some with blossoms more than 2 feet in diameter and growing as high as 14 feet. This garden opens at the beginning of August and blooms through early September with its prime in mid-August. People love Woodstock because of the Marsh-Billings-Rockefeller National Historic Park, adjacent to the Billings Farm and Museum and incorporating hillside land that was also part of the Frederick Billings vast estate. The home of Billings and later the Rockefellers is Vermont's only national park. Before Billings owned the mansion, it was the home and birthplace of the early pioneering environmentalist George Perkins Marsh. Throughout its history, the land behind the mansion has been owned by people who valued forestry and land management, and the park continues to be dedicated to demonstrating sound and forward-looking land stewardship. Ranger tours explore what is one of the oldest scientifically managed forests in the country. The Queen Anne-style mansion is decorated to high Victorian taste, featuring Tiffany glass windows and embossed wallpaper, detailed woodwork, and fine furnishings. Throughout is the Rockefellers' collection of early American landscapes, especially those of the Hudson River school artists. People love Woodstock because of Quiche Gorge. 5 miles from downtown Woodstock, Quiche Gorge is one of Vermont's top tourist attractions. You can view it from the bridge that carries Route 4, 165 feet above the fast-flowing river, or you can hike down to walk along the river level at the bottom of the gorge. Like much of Vermont's landscape, the gorge was formed as the glaciers receded about 13,000 years ago and has since then been carved deeper by the river. The trails and gorge are part of the Quechee State Park, where there are both cabins and campsites. Ranger programs include guided hikes, nature games and crafts, and campfire programs. People love Woodstock because of the covered bridges. In Woodstock, you can add 4 covered bridges to your photo album, one of them right in town center within sight of the green. Called Middle Covered Bridge, it's a lot newer than it would appear, constructed in 1969 using traditional methods and materials, including wooden pegs instead of nails. Not far west of the center, Lincoln Covered Bridge crosses the river close to Route 4 in West Woodstock. Built in 1877, the one-lane bridge is on the National Register of Historic Places. Visible from Route 4 on the other side of town, the red Taftsville Covered Bridge is one of the oldest in the country, built in 1836 and spans 189 feet. A little farther east on Route 4, a left turn into the village of Quechee takes you down Main Street and across the Quechee Covered Bridge. It was rebuilt in 2012 after it was severely damaged by the rushing floodwaters. People love Woodstock because of Mount Tom. Mount Tom rises steeply from the banks of the Ottaquechee River and is crisscrossed by a network of about 20 miles of trails and old carriage roads. The 4-mile climb to Mount Tom's South Peak, where there are sweeping views of the town and mountains to the west, is a gentle one through a mixed forest. You can also climb to the South Peak with the Pogue, a 14-acre mountain pond in a 4-mile loop trail, also moderate. In the winter, most of this trail network is groomed for cross-country skiing. The trails are a short walk from the center of town, or you can park at the Billings Farm. People love Woodstock because of Sugarbush Farm. You can watch two rural Vermont traditions in practice at Sugarbush Farm, high in the hills above Woodstock. Maple syrup and cheddar cheese are both produced at this 500-acre farm, which has been in the Luce family for 3 generations. In late winter and early spring, the farm is humming with activity as sap is brought in from the maple forest to be boiled into syrup. You can watch the operation then, and at other times of year, follow a trail through the woods to learn more about the process from tree to table. When cheese is being made, you can watch through the windows in the dairy, and at any time you can sample 15 cheese varieties and 4 grades of maple syrup. The shop is a lively emporium of Vermont-made and Vermont-centric goods with shelves of locally produced condiments and every maple product you can imagine, from lollipops to mustard. People love Woodstock because of Gillingham store and downtown shops. Central Street, which is Route 4, and Elm Street form the shopping district of this tidy downtown, each lined with substantial 19th century brick buildings. The small specialty shops are independently owned, featuring largely high-end merchandise and Vermont-made products. The Vermont Flannel Company specializes in quality winter clothing and sportswear. Take home a piece of Vermont with a flannel shirt, pajamas, or loungewear in traditional woodsman's red and black check. Gillingham's on Elm Street is the only store carrying a variety of merchandise, and you'll want to stop here. Gillingham's is an updated version of a traditional Vermont country store without any pretenses. There's no cute old wood stove here with a rocking chair and no penny candy counter, but if you peruse its far corners, you'll find old-fashioned cookware for serious cooks, tools, sporting goods, and warm wool mittens. You'll also find a good variety of Vermont-made condiments and a section of quality art supplies. People love Woodstock because of the Woodstock History Center and Garden. The 1807 Dana House was home to 3 generations of the same family until 1942, when it became a museum. The owners had a dry goods store in the brick building next door, and their house is furnished in period antiques. Texture arts and early American toys are strong points in their collection, using the flashlight beside the fully furnished dollhouse to appreciate the details and craftsmanship. Exhibitions change regularly to spotlight different collections, such as the exceptional group of fans dating from the 1770s to 1930. Another one highlighted the lives of Woodstock men and women who served in World War II. Around the house and extending over the lawns to the river are beautiful gardens with beds of perennials, sculptures, and benches. People love Woodstock because of the St. James Church and the Green. The stone English Gothic Church of St. James makes an eye-catching exclamation point at the far end of Woodstock's long public green. Built in 1907 of stones from nearby Quechee, it was designed by Ralph Adams Fram, designer of the Cathedral of St. John the Divine in New York City, and is considered one of his best small churches. The bell in its tower was made in the foundry of Paul Revere and is one of 6 Revere bells in Woodstock. 4 are in use today at St. James, the Masonic Temple on Pleasant Street, the First Congregational Church on Elm Street, and the North Universalist Chapel on Church Street. People love Woodstock because of the Raptors at the Vermont Institute of Natural Science. Not far from the Quiche Gorge, the Vermont Institute of Natural Science is a nature center whose purpose is to return injured raptors to the wild and to educate visitors about the critical role of raptors in the natural environment. You can meet these birds close up in the center's Avian Ambassador presentations, which feature a rotating cast that includes falcons, a red-tailed hawk, barn owl, and 6 species of hawks. Elsewhere at the center, you can walk along the 2,160 square foot naturally landscaped songbird aviary, see an exhibit about forests, and learn about reptiles. The reasons provided in this video are not all the reasons why people love Woodstock. If you've got a reason why you love Woodstock, pop it in the comment section. I'll make another video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Ciao for now!